SuperTruck Series by Craftsman has showcased some great battles thus far, but perhaps none has heated up like the one between friends Ron Hornaday Jr. and Bill Sedgwick. They've run side by side all season in places like Saugus, battled for victory at Bakersfield, and wouldn't give each other an inch at Portland. Old friends, former teammates, and now on-track rivals, their friendship doesn't get in the way of their desire to win. Sedgwick is looking for the knockout combination to pass Hornaday in the race for the SuperTruck Championship. Their battle continues tonight in Monroe, Washington. Next. Good evening and welcome to the beautiful Pacific Northwest, where it has been a beautiful, bright, sunny day, great weather for tonight's race. We're live at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds in Monroe, Washington, about 45 minutes north of Seattle, for tonight's running of race number 6 in the NASCAR SuperTruck Series by Craftsman, the Jerr-Dan Nelson Truck 150. Now, this beautiful 5/8 of a mile facility lends itself to great racing action, long straightaways, big, wide, sweeping turns. I'm Glenn Jarrett. Joining me in the booth tonight is Winston Cup crew chief Barry Dodson. Barry, this racetrack looks like it can put on a terrific show.
I think we're going to see a great show. It's big and wide. There's not a lot of rubber laid down yet. You're going to see plenty of good racing. The weather is beautiful, Glenn, but these super trucks, man, they're something else. We got Chevrolets, we got Fords, we even got a Dodge. I've been up and down pit road. I know a lot of these guys. I've raced with them in the past, so they'll talk to me because I don't have a truck here. And every one of these guys says they're running good, and every one of them says they think they're going to win. I don't see how that's going to happen. It should be a great show.
Well, it should be, and to add a little spice to things, NASCAR threw in a little bit of a surprise tonight. They have inverted the first 6 qualifiers in the race. The guy that won the pole will start 6th, and so on. Now, I like the idea. I think it's going to be great for competition, but from a crew chief standpoint, what do you think?
Well, if you're up front in the points, you certainly don't like this. I mean, you could jeopardize a good run by starting in the back, getting in an early crash. Anything could happen. If you're one of the back runners right now that's getting more competitive on a weekly basis, you're going to get some quality track time being up front and a lot more exposure.
Well, you've heard my point of view. There's Barry's. Let's find out what the drivers think. Here's Ralph Shaheen.
Really going to benefit Steve Portengay. He qualified 6th here today because we're inverting 6 rows. That means you will start from the first spot. That's got to change your strategy a little bit. You must like that.
Yeah, I think it's for the best. We're starting up here with some real good company, and the crews worked really hard to get this Coffee Creek Michelin Chevrolet up front. And we've had a pretty rough year so far, and I just like to get a good top 10 finish this race. And Ronnie's going to be real tough. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to lead the first lap there. So we're just going to take it real conservative, and hopefully we want to finish this race on the lead lap.
Now, of course, this doesn't benefit everybody, and Steve will assume that position once the cars, or the trucks, I should say, $1 for me, get rolling. Row 2 will stay the same. Joe Ruttman will be on the inside. Rick Corelli will start on the outside. Now, look at Mike Skinner. He was the fast qualifier in his Craftsman SuperTruck. Once he crossed the finish line after taking that first position, boy, he hit the wall. And hitting the wall after you qualify on the pole, Mike Skinner, is not a good thing to do. How badly is this truck damaged?
I think the GM Goodrich service truck will be just fine. I got a real good crew, and, you know, we really didn't hurt anything. We just brushed it up against there. We just changed a lot of suspension pieces as a precaution.
One other thing they did change, Glenn, is tires on the right side. He popped the right front once he hit the wall, cut that one down. That one's new, and it's not scuffed. All the others are the same ones he qualified with, which is a NASCAR SuperTruck rule. So Mike Skinner, one scuffed, non-scuffed tire. The other 3 are.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. That could obviously upset the handle on the car. We'll be back for the start of tonight's truck race in just a few moments. Stay tuned. And we're back. You can see the trucks are underway. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup. The General Motors Chevy Truck starting grid is brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, long-lasting trucks on the road. Starting in row 1, as Ralph said, Steve Portengay, truck number 83. On the outside of row number 1, Ron Hornaday Jr. in the Papa John's Pizza truck. In row 2 is Joe Ruttman, number 84, the Coca-Cola truck. On the outside of row 2, Rick Corelli in the Total Petroleum Chevrolet. In row 3 is Hornaday's rival, Bill Sedgwick, in the Spears truck. That's a Chevy. On the outside, fastest qualifier for the 5th race in a row, Mike Skinner, but he starts 6th tonight. And in row 4 is Jack Sprague, truck number 31. On the outside of that, the diehard truck of P.J. Jones. P.J. had some good runs in practice earlier today. In row 5, Dave Resendez driving the Exide truck, normally driven by Jeff Bodine tonight. On the outside is truck number 52. The truck scheduled to be driven by Ken Schrader. He had a little injury today, so Ron Esau will be in the truck tonight. In row 6, second place points man Butch Miller. On the outside, a local favorite, Toby Butler, in the Ortho Lawn and Gardens truck. Row 7, that's Scott Lagacy. On the outside, starting 14th, be 08 Mike Bliss. In the 8th row, that's Troy Beebe. On the outside of the 8th row, John Nemechek. Good run for him in the Burger King Chevrolet. In row number 9, the Dodge of Walker Evans. Outside, young driver John Kinder, number 14. In the 10th row, starting 19th, that's Gary Collins making an infrequent appearance. On the outside, ARCA veteran Bob Strait in number 37. Row 11 is Bob Keselowski in another Dodge, and Kerry Teague, number 51, in a Chevrolet. Row number 12, Dennis Woolridge subbing for Stan Fox. On the outside, the Channel Lock truck of Sammy Swindell. The 13th row, former coach of the Atlanta Falcons, Jerry Glanville in a Ford. Number 99, Gary Herron, former crew chief on this truck, driving this week for Pancho Carter. Row 14 is Mike Hurlbert in a Ford, and number 88, Jerry Churchill. In the 15th row, taking a provisional tonight, is T.J. Clark, number 23. T.J. got here late, had some engine problems. Just going to take a provisional start and just try to make a couple of laps, see what he can do. Now let's take a look at our in-truck cameras. Being carried tonight first by Toby Butler in the Ortho truck. See out the front windshield toward Toby's truck there. He's driving the bright yellow number 21. Also, an in-truck camera is being driven tonight by number 6, Rick Corelli, the Total Petroleum Chevrolet. There you see Corelli getting ready for the start. We're just about ready to get this thing underway, Mary.
Yep.
There you are on board in Corelli's truck. You see Portengay, the black number 83, the Coffee Critic truck. That's Steve's family business. Remember, Steve is the reigning Southwest Tour champion, but has turned most of his attention this year to the SuperTruck Series by Craftsman. Bringing him down real slowly. Ron Hornaday on the outside, and Hornaday gets the jump on him. Portengay's truck does not come up to speed. The first 3 trucks go by him as they go into turn 1. You see them already 3 wide. We said there were big, wide, sweeping turns here. A lot of room to maneuver these trucks. Probably some of the widest turns that we've seen the trucks on thus far, Barry.
Yeah, Butch Miller almost got in a jam there when it got backed up on the start.
Yeah, things really still jammed up when you got this big, wide racetrack like this. The guys think they can drive them anywhere. You see the trucks. You see Hornaday in the red Papa John's truck, number 16 there. He had put a little bit of distance between himself and the field. Running second is Joe Ruttman, number 84, in the Coca-Cola truck. Third is Mike Skinner already. Skinner started 6th, wasted no time in getting up to 3rd position in the GM Goodwrench truck.
Hornaday looked awful good in practice, Glenn.
All 3 of these trucks did. In fact, it surprised me a little bit. I didn't think Skinner was quite quick enough to get that 5th straight fastest time, but he did it. Right now, he's chasing Joe Ruttman. You know, last week we saw everybody chasing Mike Skinner all night. Tonight is a little bit different. The front 3 trucks have really opened up some margin. You're looking inside the truck or from inside the truck of Rick Corelli. That's number 6. He has just gone around Portengay to take over 4th position. And you see the number 1 multicolored truck there. That's P.J. Jones. He's also trying to take the position for Portengay.
Yeah, look at Ron Esau with not much time at all in that truck. He's right there with him.
You know, Ken Schrader is on hand with us. We'll talk with him a little bit later, and he'll tell us why he's not driving the truck tonight. You see the number 52 there. And looking out the back of the truck there, you see a little bit of distance being put by Rick Corelli. Let's go back up front now. You see a challenge for the lead. Ruttman is wasting no time in the red and white number 84 Coca-Cola truck, trying to take that lead from Ron Hornaday Jr. Once again, the first 3 trucks put about 10-15 car lengths on 4th place Rick Corelli. You can just see Corelli coming into the picture there as the trucks go down the backstretch and into turn 3. A lot of room to maneuver here. Not quite enough for Ruttman yet, though. He hasn't been able to get by him. And did I say car? I guess I owe $1. Well, that's...
Yep.
And I said it right before we went to break, too, folks. So I owe $2. I know Mike Joy's loving this. You see the trucks going down the backstretch again. Hornaday in the bright red and white number 16, followed right on his bumper is Joe Ruttman. And Ruttman makes a bid for the lead. Hornaday gets a little loose coming off the corner, but he's able to hold Ruttman off. Mike Skinner in the black number 3 Goodwrench truck just sitting there biding his time, waiting for one of those guys to make a mistake.
He's too tight. Hornaday's too tight in the middle. You can see the truck wash up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, you made a statement earlier on. You thought that the track might get a little tighter as things go on.
Yeah, Will, there's not much rubber down. And as it gets dark or starts to get dark, the bottom groove's going to be really tight. I think they're going to be able to move up top on newer asphalt and get a good grip and be able to turn also.
Well, I'm sure Ron Hornaday wants to see that because his truck's already moving up to the top or the middle groove anyway. You're right, it is tight. He simply cannot turn the truck, keep it down low like Ruttman can. That gives Ruttman kind of opens the door on it. Let's go down for a report from the pits from Ralph Shaheen.
Glenn, Joe Ruttman's crew has been working very, very hard and dialing in the chassis of that machine. He told me today they picked up a tenth of a second, but it's still not enough, they don't think, to really go after Mike Skinner. But right now it seems to be helping him out quite a bit.
Well, you see Ruttman has dropped back a little bit there. A couple of truck links between himself and leader Hornaday, and he's got a couple of truck links on Mike Skinner. So they're really just kind of riding right now, feeling each other out, seeing what's happened. But in the meantime, look coming up on the rear bumper of Mike Skinner. You can just see him coming into the picture there. There you see Ruttman in second. There's Skinner. Look coming into the picture. That's Rick Corelli. Corelli was bound and determined to get things working this week. He's moving in on that front pack. He has run them down from about 15 car lengths back there.
Yeah, he's keeping that truck low now because he's getting on the brakes earlier. He's keeping it on the bottom, but he's losing his momentum coming off. You can look for when Ruttman gets by for Skinner to go right with him.
And I said car lengths. I'm just having a field day tonight. I know Mike Joy is loving this because I laughed at him all last week. But anyway, again, looking from inside Corelli's truck as he pulls up onto the back bumper of Mike Skinner going into turn 3. Good, exciting action going on here. We're going to take this time to take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more action from Monroe, Washington, right after this. Back to Monroe, Washington at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. Ron Hornaday still leads Joe Ruttman, followed by Mike Skinner in third, Rick Corelli in fourth. There you see the Papa John's Pizza truck of Ron Hornaday. He has led from the outset. Joe Ruttman has held on to the second place since the green flag fell. Mike Skinner third. Rick Corelli has made a move up into fourth place. You see the fifth place truck there. That's the guy that started on the pole, Steve Portengay, in the inverted start. And you saw P.J. Jones. Look at the action here. And Ron Esau driving Ken Schrader's truck number 52, followed by Bill Sedgwick and Jack Sprague. That is for 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, I do believe.
Okay, Jack Sprague, he's the quickest of those 3 trucks right there. He's much quicker in the corner right now, right in the center. He's got momentum to come off. So those 2 are actually holding him up. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, Sprague got by while we're away on break. Jack Sprague took the 9th position away from Toby Butler in the ortho truck to the yellow number 21, who is running right behind him. You see Butler's truck picking up.
Yeah, see there? Here we go.
Sprague has made the move on Spears, and you're right, Barry. He's got the truck really hooked up. He might be one of the quicker trucks on the racetrack right now. This battle is for 8th position.
And to be that free in the center this early on, he might really be good later.
Yeah, particularly if the track does tighten up like we suspect it will. There you see Sprague. His next move will try to be to get by the number 52 truck driven tonight by Ron Esau. That's Ken Schrader's truck, number 52, the AC Delco Chevrolet. Real tight action in that pack right there. That's the truck's 6th through about 12th position. They're all running nose to tail. And you see Sprague trying to make that move on Esau right there. He's got a nose up under him. Ooh, they touched just a little coming off the corner there, Barry.
That's about the 3rd time they've touched. He's just so much better getting in and right through the center. It's not going to take him long.
No, the truck really seems to be free right in the middle of the corner. You see the top 5 there of Hornaday, Ruttman, Skinner, Corelli, and Portengay. Portengay doing a good job. As you heard him say at the top of the show, he wanted to get a top 10 finish tonight. Once again, Jack Sprague tries down low on Ron Esau in the number 52 AC Delco truck. Sprague in the white number 31. He's followed by Bill Sedgwick in the blue and white number 75, who is followed by like Toby Butler there. There you see Sprague has gotten under him now. I believe he'll be able to make the pass.
Oh, yeah. He'll be on PJ before you know it here.
That's P.J. Jones, who is running ahead of this group. You can see PJ going into turn 1 there. He's in about the middle of turns 1 and 2 as Sprague and the rest of the group enter turn 1. So like you say, I don't think it'll be too long. There's PJ Jones down the backstretch into turn 1, and there's Jack Sprague in number 31.
Yeah, up front, nothing's changed really. It looks like the 3 trucks getting tighter, and Ruttman and Hornaday are kind of getting away.
Getting the look out of Toby Butler in the Ortho Lawn and Gardens, number 21. He's running right behind Spears on the racetrack. I believe Butler is in position number 10 right now. He doesn't seem to be going down, coming off the turns like he would want to. The truck seems to be doing pretty well in the corner, just not running down the straightaways. You see the bright sunshine, the glare on the truck's glass as they go into turn 3. A little bit bright back there going into 3. Saw him get a little crossways coming off the corner there as Mike Bliss in the number 08 Ultra Wheels truck. That's a Ford. Bliss had some good runs, top 5s the last 2 weeks. He's trying to take that 10th position away, and he does so.
Yeah, that the car Toby's in, I was looking at it before the race. It's a banjo tight front steer, rear steer, and when you're on a tight track, they're even tighter, and he's struggling with that right now.
He also lost a position there. You see Butler, the truck in front of him now is the truck driven by Butch Miller. Butch was mired back in 15th position, but he has moved up. I believe he's in 11th now. So, and Butch has made it a point. He starts back in the field, and then he passes people all his way to the front. Let's go down to the pits to Ralph Shaheen.
You know, Glenn, it's really interesting about Butch Miller is he is really struggling with his qualifying right now. He says he has a mental block every time he goes out to qualify. He cannot figure out what's wrong, but for some reason he says he's just trying too hard, and he's running the truck in too deep when he goes to qualify, and he starts deep in the field, and then he just charges like a maniac back through the pack.
Well, that's an interesting point. And you know, Barry, a lot of good race drivers aren't that great a qualifier. They need other traffic, other vehicles on the racetrack with them to help them gauge as to how far they can run in the corner. That's not uncommon.
Well, we've got one. Kyle Petty, excellent race driver. We struggle a lot of times qualifying. When the race starts, he runs with whoever's out there. If a car's in front of him, he catches him and passes him. So it's not uncommon at all.
No, it's not. In fact, there's a member of my family who admittedly says he's not that good a qualifier. My brother Dale. Of course, they always run good in the race. Back up front, you see the action there. Ron Hornaday still leads the field, followed closely by Joe Ruttman. Has been that way since the start. We're going to take a little break right now. We'll be back with more action from Monroe, Washington. Stay tuned. And back to the action up front, you see a couple or one Chevy truck. That's number 16, the Papa John's Chevrolet, owned by Dale Earnhardt, driven by Ron Hornaday. Let's go back now to the battle for 7th, 8th, and 9th. You see the blue and white number 75, the multicolored truck number 98, driven by Butch Miller. 75 is Bill Sedgwick, and Miller just put the pass on Mike Bliss, so he takes over 7th position. Looking back up front now, the trucks are starting to move into some lap traffic. You see the number 89 of Troy Beebe there getting lapped by leader Ron Hornaday. And Joe Ruttman in the number 84 truck is trying to put a lap on Beebe as well. He does so. Walker Evans, driver of one of the Dodge trucks, is already in the pits. So let's go down to Ralph, see what's going on.
The hood is up on Walker Evans' Craftsman SuperTruck. Walker, what's wrong with your Dodge?
Well, we don't know. We're pulling the valve cover off. It could be a broken piston or something such as that, but man, it was running good, and this is the best truck handling truck I've had on one of these tracks. I was looking to really do good today, but I'm the first one to be out.
That leaves only the Dodge of Bob Keselowski still in the field.
Tough break for Walker Evans. You're still looking at that pack. Butch Miller has now moved by Bill Sedgwick, so he's on his way to the front, and that's nothing unusual, Barry. We have seen this week after week in the SuperTruck series. And there's some moves up front. You see Ron Hornaday again in traffic. And Ruttman has closed the door just a little bit on him. Looks like he's been able to use the traffic a little more to his advantage than has Hornaday.
Yeah, it looked like when he went by Glanville, he was in his red gun defense.
It is, and part of that, Barry, is because Ron's truck's still a little tight. He can't work traffic the way that Ruttman can. Ron
looked awful good. You know, I said that before the race. The whole practice session I watched, he should be tough all night. And if Jack Sprague can get up there, you know, he's caught PJ, like we talked about earlier. He's good and fast also.
You saw Hornaday take his Chevy truck down to the bottom side that time to put a lap on Bob Strait. Joe Ruttman followed suit. Ruttman's still 3 to 4 truck lengths behind, but he's certainly within striking distance.
Joe's a smart driver. He's going to sit there and watch what everybody's got.
When you're in a position like that, Barry, you see the guy in front of you like Hornaday's truck. Now, he seems to have changed his line a little bit like that right now, but you know he's a little tight. Do you try to run him a little harder to try to make it a little worse on him?
Well, you try to run his line to see if it helps you, first of all. And if he's not getting away from you, don't press it. I mean, we're only like halfway through the first leg here. Got to save your tires.
And remember, we will have a halftime break here, as usual, in the SuperTruck Series on lap 76 tonight. Once they run one lap past halfway, guys get to go in for a little 5-10 minute break, work on their trucks, come back out for the second half. Now you see Hornaday starting to put a little distance on Ruttman. Going down the straight, what's coming off the corner, though, Ruttman's able to close that distance back up. He's definitely getting off the corners better than Hornaday is right now. Joe Ruttman ran a great race last week in Portland, finished second to Mike Skinner. Now he's running second to Ron Hornaday. You got to feel like that his night is going to come soon. He's been awfully competitive lately.
His night's going to come soon. Ron's got a great engine in that truck.
Yeah, I don't think Dale Earnhardt's trucks are going to lack anything in horsepower, do you? There you see Hornaday accelerating off the corner there. Ruttman caught behind traffic just a little bit there. Had a little bit of trouble getting by John Kinder in the blue and red truck number 14. There's Mike Skinner. Now remember, Mike is running third, but he is way behind that first twosome there of Hornaday and Ruttman.
Can't get it cut, Glenn. He's almost stopping the truck going in. Is still going up and diming in the corner. They'll have to make a major air pressure change or maybe a shock or something halfway.
Well, you know, and also, you know, he damaged the truck getting into the wall at the end of his qualifying run, and they didn't get any more practice. They had to put a mismatched tire on the right front of the thing. You know, he could be experiencing some problems due to that crash.
Yeah, that black 3 always comes back.
Got a good, strong engine, and I think right now he's using that to hang on to third place, although he is definitely losing ground to Ruttman and Hornaday. Skinner was the dominant truck last week, but that's not the case this week. He's moving up on a little bit of traffic there. He'll come into view just in a moment. I think that's where he has the most trouble. There you see Toby Butler getting passed on the inside by the number 7 truck, and he's motioning. Oh, we got caution. He's waving to the guys behind him. There is caution flag out. Must be something on the racetrack. I haven't seen anything, any truck spun or off the course or anything like that yet, Barry.
No.
Haven't gotten word yet from NASCAR. And while we're waiting to get word for this first caution tonight, we'll take this chance to take a little break, do a couple commercials. We'll be right back to sort things out. Stay tuned. Don't go away. There he was running in 9th place. He had to come into the pits. The caution was for some debris on the backstretch. It looked like an exhaust pipe. Possibly Cedric must have run over it, cut the brake lines. He was out of brakes. He came in, lost a couple of laps in the pits. They do have the brake problem fixed right now, but a tough break for Bill Sedgwick. Now remember earlier on, I told you that Ken Schrader was scheduled to drive his truck. He had a little accident, a little more severe accident than what he would have liked to have seen. Let's go down to Ralph and find out what the story is.
Glenn, you can see the cast here. Kenny, what did you do? How are you? What's the story?
We're okay. Just didn't get to race tonight. Drivers aren't supposed to play mechanics, and I stuck my finger my thumb someplace I shouldn't have, and we had to cut it off at the first knuckle.
Is this anything that's going to affect you in your driving?
Other than losing tonight, I think that's about it. But we'll be fine to go to Charlotte next week for sure.
So as they say, it's a bit of a cosmetic injury?
Yeah, but it wasn't that pretty to start with.
Kenny Schrader, you can see, Glenn, it's all wrapped up here, and I guess it'll be a few days before you can get... Are you going to be able to run at Charlotte?
Yeah. Well, if tonight was a points race, we'd be in there, I guarantee you.
Kenny Schrader, what more can you say than that?
He is amazing, Barry. Now, he's making light of this situation, folks. He got his thumb caught in between a pulley and a belt on the front of the engine. They were looking at some stuff. Like he said, he put his hand where it shouldn't be. It completely severed his thumb at the first knuckle there. That's the thumb on his left hand, you can see. But Schrader back at the racetrack and making light of the situation.
He's very optimistic, Glenn. Like he told us, it could have been the thumb and 2 or 3 more fingers. Great competitor. I tell you what, we had 5 more trucks pitted in too. The 21, the 81, and looks like Kerry Teague and Keselowski.
Of course, Keselowski driving the Dodge.
Also, Bob Strait came in.
We're getting ready to go green again. The field getting the 1 lap to go signal. And as you see, the trucks on the backstretch there starting to double up. Of course, we do have double file restarts. The lap trucks to the inside. Plenty of room here at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds Speedway. So that shouldn't be a problem for the lead trucks. See the truck number 14 of John Kinder there. It's the first truck in line on the inside lane. Ron Hornaday has led since the beginning.
See what Sprague and Butch Miller.
Yeah, this has closed the field up. This was our first caution. It was on lap number 44. There were still 17 trucks on the lead lap. Now there are only 16, I believe, as Bill Sedgwick has lost that lap or so in the pits working with the brakes. But we're back underway. Restart on lap 50, and Hornaday wastes no time, pulling out to about a 5 truck length advantage over second place Jerr-Dan.
All right, let's see what happened to the tires on the 3 truck as they cooled off.
Yeah, we remarked before the caution there, but he was having some problems. There you see the 24 truck with Scott Lagacy. Let's go down the route, see what's going on.
Glenn, it's a flat left front tire. They're having to pick the truck up off the ground. They'll get the jack up underneath there. As soon as they get this flat tire off, to put a new one on there and get him back out. We should also tell you that it was the 81 was just loose, Barry, and they tightened up Jerry Glanville. And the 75 was just a brake line that came off. They reattached that. He's back up to speed as well on the 75.
See a little damage to the left front of Scott Lagacy's number 24 DuPont truck there. I have a suspicion that he may have made contact with somebody, and that's what cut the left front tire. And again, you're taking a look at Ron Hornaday, followed by Joe Ruttman, and they're already starting to pull away from the number 3 Goodwrench truck of Mike Skinner. You see the field moving down into down the backstretch into turn 3. Good double file racing here, as I said, plenty of room. There's Toby Butler in the Ortho Lawn and Garden Care truck. This is Toby's home track, and he's not having the kind of night that he wants to. You're looking out the back glass of it right now. As you can see, was the 1987 Winston Northwest Tour champion. Had a great run last week in Portland, wound up 4th. Ran in the top 3, 4, 5 all night. Now let's look back in the field a little bit. There's Rick Corelli, number 6, P.J. Jones, number 1, and Butch Miller still moving steadily through the field. You see P.J. move down under Corelli, trying to take that position from him.
Yeah, he'd already put that safety bumper on him a lap or 2 before. And it looks like Butch is going to make the move also.
And this is for 6th place right now. Corelli giving up 6th. In fact, he falls back to 8th. P.J. moves up into the 6th spot. Butch Miller takes over 7th. Putting Rick Corelli back into the number 8 position. Corelli's truck looked like a while ago that it took a little bit of time, maybe 4, 5, 6 laps to get going, and the racetrack seemed to come to him a little bit. We'll see if that's the case, or maybe he has a problem. He's really fallen off the pace. There's the number 74 red and white truck. That's Gary Collins. I believe this is Gary's 2nd, maybe 3rd start of the year. He's ahead of Dave Resendez in number 7 and Bill Sedgwick in the 75 truck, but he is a lap down.
Caution flag.
And we have another caution flag. Again, there must be some debris on the racetrack because there are no trucks spun. Nobody's hit the wall or anything, so there must be some more debris on the racetrack, Barry.
Yeah.
And as the field comes around to take the caution flag, once again, we'll take a break. We'll be back for more exciting racing action for the SuperTruck Series by Craftsman right after this message. As you can see, the field is still under caution. You're looking out the front glass of Rick Corelli's Total Petroleum Chevrolet number 6. We understand there's a piece of metal still over in turn 3. There was some debris on the track. There you see the top 10 running order after the first 56 laps, 20 more laps before the halftime break. We've had a few pit stops during this caution period. Let's go down the route for an update.
Glenn, there's been a lot of activity down here. Bob Keselowski's got a problem with his right front tire, and they can't seem to get that straightened out. Rick Corelli has got a real bad push with his car. Toby Butler, well, he's got lots of problems with his too. He's loose coming off the turn, and he's real tight in the middle of the turn. So in that 7 minutes that they got at the halftime, they're going to have to get in there and mess around with the right side panhard bar, and they're also going to try and soften up the rear springs, which is a lot in 7 minutes. And also the 31 machine of Jack Sprague, he's real loose. Bad news for Jack was he came down here and tested here. The very next day, P.J. Jones came in and tested for Goodyear. The tire that P.J. decided was the best one to run is not the one that they had tested with Jack Sprague. So Jack's setups are all off, and he's chasing his truck here tonight.
And Sprague had moved up into the 4th position. He has now fallen back to 10th.
He's loose, Glenn, because he used his tires a little bit too quick.
And he made that comment about Toby Butler. Toby's truck is pushing badly. That's why I guess so loose coming off the corner. He has to turn it so hard getting in the corner.
It's too tight, and you finally got to snatch it or just keep going right.
Butler has been able to stay on the lead lap and hopefully can make adjustments on the truck in front of his hometown fans here in Monroe, Washington. You see the double-filed trucks getting ready for third start tonight. This is our second caution period, so this is our second restart.
Good jump right there.
Yeah, good job by Hornaday. See the entire field move safely down into turns 1 and 2. We see a truck off the pace as they get through the traffic. That's John Nemechek in the Burger King number 87 having a problem there. Meanwhile, back up front, see some action there. Mike Skinner getting through traffic in the black number 3 Goodrich truck. Hornaday in the number 16 Papa John's Pizza, followed by Joe Ruttman in the number 84 Coca-Cola truck. And Skinner, you see Bill Sedgwick has moved on the inside of Skinner down there. Of course, we made note of Skinner's problem. Sedgwick's got fresh tires on after getting his brakes fixed. You see Mike Bliss following Rick Corelli in the corner there, but Mike's got a problem. What is it, Ralph?
Well, for Mike Bliss, he has no front brakes, Glenn. They're not sure if it's a caliper or a brake line. They've got 2 calipers laying out here. At halftime, they'll be changing these or changing brake lines.
We see a lot of these trucks, Barrier, to the point now they're just trying to get through this first session. They know they've got that break coming up in about 15 laps, and they're just trying to hang on so they can get there and make corrections and adjustments.
Yeah, and this is one of the bigger, wider tracks. Got another caution. The 87 is not going to make it in, possibly.
He has come to a stop off of turn 4. We told you that he lost power on the restart. He's just now getting back to the start-finish line. He didn't quite have enough power to get it off the racetrack and into the pits there. You see John Nemechek sitting there in the Burger King truck. So the field once more under caution. Ron Hornaday still leading. Here comes the push truck to get John out of the way. We'll get a few more commercials out of the way. We'll take a break right now and be back with more action from the Evergreen State Speedway. Stay tuned.
They're the young guns of racing. And on their Sunday afternoon showdown, these next generation superstars start with the next generation die-hard battery. The longest lasting die-hard ever. The same die-hard you can buy at Sears. Don't trust your Sunday drives to anything less.
When you're looking for a powerful tractor, you can't get one more powerful than this. It's got an engine bigger than your house. It's also got something in common with every new Cub Cadet tractor. A steel drive shaft, not a belt, like other tractors. Every Cub Cadet, every horsepower level. Of course, no Cub Cadet has this much horsepower. We make your yard look a lot nicer. If you want shaft drive, just look for Cub Cadet.
Just taking the green flag for the restart. Tonight's Super Truck Series race. You see Ron Hornaday still leading. Now, right behind him is Bill Sedgwick, his old rival. Sedgwick was a lap down. He pulled up beside of Hornaday on the restart, trying to get his lap back, still trying. He is only 1 lap down in the number 75 truck. Desperately wants to get back on that lead lap, if at all possible. Hornaday is having none of it.
He's trying awful hard to get it back, Glenn. Now's a good time to do it.
His truck is pretty free coming up off the corners, but look at the power that Hornaday has. Looks like he's got a little more under the hood than what Sedgwick has.
Looks like Papa John's got all the toppings on tonight.
And you see the truck number 84, that's Joe Ruttman. He's in second. Of course, Sedgwick's truck is between Hornaday and Ruttman. And now we understand that Ralph has moved down with John Nemechek to find out what the problem is there.
Well, John's down here with his mom, Martha. What's the story with your truck, John?
Well, the Burger King Chevrolet was running pretty good today. We were just hanging in there until the race set until the halftime, and the oil pump broke, or the belt broke on the oil pump, and the motor pretty much locked up. It's too bad. We just been having a hard time here the last couple days, or the couple races, but we're getting it together. Well, I just want to say hello, everybody back in North Carolina. We'll get them next week.
And she's the best PR person I've ever seen. Martha over here, while we're interviewing, she's taking pictures of us interviewing John, so he's got more PR stuff for Burger King. I like that.
And of course, Ralph is talking about Martha Nemechek, John's mom. And happy birthday, or happy Mother's Day, Martha, and all you mothers out there coming up on Mother's Day tomorrow. Action fast and furious up front. Bill Sedgwick wants the lap back. He got up under Hornaday the lap before, turned it sideways, had to back out. Hornaday got back by him, but boy, Sedgwick wants that lap back, Barry.
Yeah, he's trying the outside right now. If he gets by him, they're going to swap some paint.
Remember, we told you about that friendly rivalry that they have at the top of the show. Hornaday does not want to see Sedgwick get back in the lead lap with him. There you see truck number 3 is driven by Mike Skinner. Moving up on the inside of him is number 98. That's Butch Miller. Butch trying to take over the 3rd position from way back in the field, and he's going to do it.
Yeah, he's going to get him here. He's just having to stop that truck, and there goes all his momentum down the straightaway.
Yeah, you can see how he pulled up on him coming off the corner, but he just can't get in the corner. Back up front. Sedgwick has allowed Hornaday to get a little breathing room now, about a truck length or 2. In fact, that time Hornaday, you can see Hornaday turn it sideways a little there coming off the corner. He's got the pedal down.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if Sedgwick can do it without contact. And the problem is here he doesn't need to hold Joe up if he can't get by him, because Joe's awful strong too.
Well, he is, but you know, Ruttman hasn't yet been able to mount a charge, a serious challenge on Hornaday. He's been able to run right up on his bumper, but at this point, I don't think that Sedgwick's holding him up a little bit. In fact, they're starting to pull away from Ruttman just a little bit. I don't know. If I were Sedgwick, I'd have to think about nudging him just a little bit.
You mean a little more?
Well, whatever it takes just to try to get that lap back. As I said, he's only 1 lap down due to that brake problem that he had, but obviously you can see right now, truck running awfully well. And Sedgwick moved again right up on the back bumper. He seems to be able to pull up on him at will, but he just can't get by him. Only a few more laps to go now until the halfway break, and Sedgwick really putting the heat on him now. It's lap 73 completed, 3 to go till the halfway. Back in the pack, you see P.J. Jones. That's Scott Lagacy, and Scott is a lap down. Remember, he had a cut front left tire, so he's at least a lap down. And Mike Bliss, the 08, still running without brakes, doing a heck of a job.
Yeah, they swapped a little paint a while ago, the 24 and the 1, and like I say, he changed that 1 tire and started in last, and he's midway back through the pack.
Once again, Bill Sedgwick pulls up on the outside of Ron Hornaday, trying to get his lap back. As they start off at turn 2, he might have him this time, Barry. He's got it up beside him.
This could be good here.
Hornaday moves down into 3, still keeping that little bit of an advantage. This will be the 75th lap. They're halfway right now, and he makes the pass. He's got that lap back. If he can hold him off for 1 more lap, we'll have halftime here. Bill Sedgwick will be back in the lead lap. What a great job of driving by Sedgwick. As usual, great show by these two. Hornaday still is not willing to let Sedgwick have that lap back that easily. He still wants to go back by him, but I believe Bill's going to be able to hold him off. What a great job. And he runs up, gives him a little tap there.
Little love tap.
That was just a little bump saying, hey, good job, man.
Yeah.
And the caution flies on lap 76. Time for the halftime break. Good show. Great job by Hornaday, leading all the laps. Of course, he led from start to finish in the first segment here. Joe Ruttman runs 2nd. Butch Miller, who started 11th, has already moved up to 3rd.
Butch is going to be tough. He's been sitting there watching.
In that second half, that's where he seems to come on the strongest, is in the second half. There's Hornaday waving to the field behind him. He'll bring the field down. The pace truck is out there. We'll be back with the halftime activity here in Monroe, Washington, right after this. Stay tuned. We'll bring you up to date on what's happening during the halftime break here. Starting in the pits here now. Let's go down to Ralph for an update as to what's going on.
Ron Hornaday getting a drink. Ron, how's your truck?
Right now, the truck's excellent. You know, we got a little bit of a push in it. I got to baby the throttle to the middle, but this Papa John's Pizza Chevrolet is doing an awesome job. I got to thank RCCA and the guys. I mean, they're doing a good job. We got 100 laps to go, or 75 to go, I'm sorry. But Doug's watched the truck, see what we got to make changes on. We're looking forward for the second half.
How concerned are you now that Sedgwick is back in the lead lap?
Heck, you're supposed to have been back up there anyways. You know, you can't get too concerned. I tried to race him hard, race him clean to keep him down a lap, but hey, that's part of racing, you know. But he done a good job. We're just going to keep this Papa John's Chevrolet out front.
One truck back behind here. You see Butch Miller's back here. They're working on this truck feverishly. Butch's truck is in pretty good shape. Biggest problem for Butch is he has had no radio communication in the first half of this race. So as soon as he gets his truck back into communication, he'll be in much better shape. This truck here has been a little bit loose. How bad is this truck, Mike Skinner?
Yeah, this thing's it's pretty loose right now. We missed the setup a little bit on the GM Goodrich Service Chevrolet this afternoon, but those boys are working on it right now. We'll see how she does in the second half.
And that's a pretty quick update from down here. Pretty busy pit area.
Well, it is busy, Ralph. And remember, we talked about the rivalry between Bill Sedgwick and Ron Hornaday, how hard they race each other.
Okay.
This goes back a long, long time. Let's take a little bit closer look at this friendly rivalry.
Ron and I started racing the street stock class together back at Saugus Speedway, I think right around 1979, and we used to build our own cars and stuff, and just started at the bottom level, and been friends for a long time.
Well, Bill's a great guy. I've been racing with him for many years, and it's actually got us closer, I think, because of what we've done all through the racing before and doing what we're doing now.
Sedgwick and Hornaday's paths have crossed many times, but they were most successful as team members, Hornaday the driver and Sedgwick the crew chief, at Spears Racing in the Winston West Series. Sedgwick now drives for the Spears team in the SuperTruck Series and expects a continuation of the success that he attributes to the group he races for.
I don't consider myself a great driver. I'm pretty decent with working on the cars. I'm trying to, to be a better driver, but we've got, I think, one of the best teams on the West Coast right now. These guys have been together since, 1989 when they first started to run in the Winston West Series competitively. Just a good bunch of guys. That's what it takes, is good people and good equipment.
When it comes to an edge in this championship run, Sedgwick's advantage might be that experience as Ron's crew chief, which has enabled him to anticipate and sometimes even predict Hornaday's moves on the track.
Ron's the kind of guy, he just holds the gas pedal on the floor until the checker flag comes out, He's a tough racer. I learned a little bit from watching his driving style. There's chances you need to take out there. At the same time, there's chances you don't need to take, to finish a race. I felt that I was a little more conservative, and I'm trying to be a little more aggressive right now in my driving, such similar to what Ron does. But it's a lot of fun racing against him.
We ran all these race tracks before, so I know what he's approaching to set his truck up like, and I know that, what I like in the truck too. So it's actually we got two equal trucks right now, and it's just a matter of teams and who's got the most patience right now.
They definitely seem to be equal. You see Hornaday versus Sedgwick started their careers in 1979 at Saugus in California. 92 and 93, Hornaday is a Southwest Tour champion. 91 and 92, Bill Sedgwick was the Winston West champion. Also, in 1994, Hornaday was the driver for Spears Motorsports. Sedgwick was his crew chief. In 1995 in the SuperTruck Series, Hornaday has 786 points to Sedgwick's 750, only a 36-point differential. Ralph Shaheen is with Bill Sedgwick.
Well, we're down here trying not to get hit as everybody rolls back out. Bill, you did a tremendous job of driving without the brake lines out there, and then you got your lap back. How are you doing now?
I'll tell you what, this Spears Manufacturing Sunoco Chevy pickup is something else. These guys did a heck of a job. We had something stupid happen. We had a brake leader come loose. We lost all the brake fluid. Man, I tell you, something stupid. But I'll tell you what, this truck's running. This Chevy pickup, we're looking forward to a good run here on the second half.
Dan Press and the crew's got the truck back together and ready to go, and the rest of the competitors are rolling out onto the grid.
As will Bill Sedgwick now. Sedgwick gives a lot of credit to his crew. I have to give a lot of credit to Bill Sedgwick. He is a terrific driver. We'll be back for the start of the second half of tonight's SuperTruck race. Action should be great. Don't go away.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASC...
Brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. In Portland last weekend, Ron Hornaday maintained his point lead in his Papa John's Pizza Chevrolet, despite going for a wild ride and almost ending up in the blackberry bushes and finishing ninth. Mike Skinner would go on to take the win, while Joe Ruttman finished second, and Butch Miller continued his climb in the points, finishing third, but more importantly, moving up to second in the points. On the Winston Cup scene, Dale Earnhardt's last lap pass of Mark Martin earned him his first career victory on a road course. and gave him a 9-point edge over Martin in his quest for his 8th Winston Cup championship. Call 1-800-445-3800 now for a 52-week subscription to Auto Week at only $19.95, the lowest price ever. Every week, Auto Week is first with all the inside news of racing, personalities, driving impressions, everything. Call now for Auto Week. That's 1-800-445-3800. This offer ends Monday. And now let's go back to the pits with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, we got one more driver down here. Jack, is everything set up with your truck now that you had a chance to adjust the suspension?
I don't know. We've been real loose. You know, we tried to tighten it up. We'll just have to see what happens.
Jack Spray's got the motor running. He's ready to roll back out.
And Spray pulls away there out of the pits. One of the last trucks to go back out. You see the rest of the field waiting for the restart. Second half here. For more information about Featherlight Trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight, the official trailer of NASCAR. Highway transportation provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago Motorhomes. Call 1-800-988-4884 and find out why Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. And the trucks are getting ready to restart the race. And obviously they're more than double file there, Barry. What do you think so far?
Well, I think, you know, the 3 truck, that's a tremendous crew working on that. It's easy to tighten the car up. Sometimes it's difficult to loosen one up, and he was just having to tiptoe in the corner, making the thing look like it was tight and it was loose the whole time. I don't see a lot of sticker tires coming out here. You know, maybe they're anticipating with it cooling off, it being tighter. That should play into the hand of the 3 truck. And possibly Jack Sprague, unless, like I say, you know, he was a ball of fire when the race started. If he abused his tires too quick, they could over-adjusted, maybe be too tight. These guys know what they're doing. I mean, Butch Miller's been sitting back there, awfully impressive. I still kind of like old Papa John.
He does look good. The crew, the teams have fired the trucks up now, pulling away. The first guy out of the race tonight was TJ Clark, and Ralph is with him.
TJ, it's been motor problems with you right along. Was that the same problem here tonight?
Yeah, we had a little bit of problem here. Obviously, we didn't get where we needed to be. One of those deals, Ralph. You know, we're right at this point. I'd just like to say we'd rather be a little lucky than good, but you know, those things happen. It's a little unfortunate for the team. The crew worked extremely hard to get here. You know, and I'd just like to say thanks to all the people that helped us get here and still continue to support us. My crew, my family, my wife, kids, and most importantly, my sponsors, ASE, all you certified technicians out there. Appreciate you guys hanging in there with us. And by golly, we're going to look for a 4-leaf clover, and we're gonna hang in there, dig a little bit deeper, and come back with a lot more desire and dedication. And I tell you, we're gonna be back.
Motor problems, one of the most expensive problems that a small team can have, Glenn.
Absolutely, and you can tell TJ has been working too hard. He hasn't even had time to shave yet. And let's take a look at the top 20 after 76 of the 150 laps. First, Ron Hornaday, followed by number 84, Joe Ruttman, has run second all night. Butch Miller from 11th position has moved up to third. Mike Skinner has held on to the 4th position. Steve Porton, a good run for him tonight. He started on the pole, moved back to 5th, and stayed there. P.J. Jones up to 6th. Mike Bliss, brakeless, has moved up to 7th. Hope they got that problem fixed. Good run tonight for number 74, Gary Collins, moving into 8th. Dave Resendez having a good time tonight. Driving truck number 7 in 9th position. And 10th is Rick Corelli, number 6 Chevrolet. 11th, Ron Esau. That's the ride that Ken Schrader had brought here, hoping to run. Bill Sedgwick has moved back into the 12th position after getting his lap back. 13th is number 14, John Kinder. 14th is Sammy Swindell. 15th, Scott Lagacy. 16th is Bob Strait. 17th, Kerry Teague. 18th is the coach, Jerry Glanville. 19th is Gary Herron. And 20th is Bob Keselowski in the Dodge. And you see the trucks working the wheels back and forth. Now, Barry, a lot of people have wondered for a long, long time, what are they doing when they do that?
They're cleaning off the hot rubber that's still laying on the racetrack that the cold tires are picking up. Even more so, Glenn, they're trying to get some air pressure in these tires so the trucks will go on a restart. Everybody's got them let down because it makes the truck better on a long run. But working the car around, it gets a little heat, in the tire, and it gets the truck where it'll take off on the green. Some of them you'll see take off not as good, and then they'll get going in a couple laps.
And you're looking at the Ortho truck, lawn and garden care of Toby Butler. He has one of the in-truck cameras tonight. As we said earlier, two-time NASCAR Northwest Tour Sportsman of the Year. He was the champion in that series in 1987, won a lot of races here at Evergreen, but things haven't gone his way tonight. I think we missed him in the rundown a while ago. He is on the lead lap. We'll correct that momentarily. Toby Butler in truck number 21 there. Let's go back to the pits for a quick report from Ralph.
Glenn, this is on the Mike Bliss truck. You might remember he was having problems with his brakes. He had no front brakes. It wasn't the brake line. It wasn't the brake calipers. They just got too hot and were bubbling up and boiling over on him. That took away the brakes for him. So they brought him in, bled the brakes, put new fluid in there, and they said this is the second time that this has happened to him. It happened to him at Bakersfield as well at Mesa Marina, track similar to this one. And they're all talking now, Barry, about putting brake recirculators on there. Hopefully that might cool them down. That's something you use in Winston Cup racing as well, is it not?
That's right. See, you have a track here with no banking, and Bliss is used to a light race car. See, that's something he's going to have to learn, and he'll get better at it. But this racetrack right here is hard on brakes because you got a lot of room in the corner, and you can get in there wide, and they're going to try to do it.
Well, the field is doubling up now as they go down the backstretch. The light is off atop the caution truck. We're ready for a restart. Slowly down into turn 3. Once again, John Kinder, the first truck, one lap down on the inside of leader Ron Hornaday there. Even though Hornaday's truck had a little bit of push in it, he certainly was able to keep the field behind him, Barry. So we get ready for the restart. Let's see if he can maintain that.
Yeah, he gets such a good restart.
You saw Sammy Swindell in the blue and white and red, number 38 there, trying to get by Kinder. Swindell also a lap down.
Yeah, he did it there. That's your channel lock truck.
A lot of action early in the going here.
Yeah, the 3 looks better right now.
And of course, he looked pretty good early on a while ago, but it got so loose it didn't take it long before he really started fading back. Meanwhile, up front, Hornaday in number 16 and Ruttman in the number 84 are pulling away from the field. They've already put about a 10 to 12 truck length lead over John Kinder, and he's a lap truck. There you see Skinner trying to get by Swindell. Swindell is a lap truck. He is one lap down. There Skinner gets a bite. Gets by it where Swindell moved up the racetrack. Give him lots of room. Keep an eye on Skinner to see if that crew was able to make the proper adjustments. Sometimes it's hard to get one tight enough for the remainder of the night, but that crew's certainly one of the best at making those adjustments, Barry.
Yeah, and if he thinks it's going to be loose, he just needs to keep them inside here and save his tires.
Oh, look here, coming off of 4. We finally got a challenge for the lead. Joe Ruttman gets his Ford up underneath Ron Hornaday. And watch Hornaday dive right back to the inside, off in the grass. Ruttman giving him no room. What great action. Tried to pull the Dale Earnhardt move on and almost pulled it off there.
Great truck racing right there.
Great move by Ruttman. They made an adjustment on his truck, obviously. He didn't have that kind of bite coming off the corner a while ago.
No.
Now Joe Ruttman leads, and, you know, we mentioned earlier that he's been awfully strong the last couple of weeks. Ran second last week. Pins it right down to the bottom to try to keep Hornaday from getting back under him. Hornaday wants that lead back. He's not content riding in second place. Oh, we've got a spin over here in
Sedgwick.
In the middle of turns 1 and 2. That's Sedgwick. He spun down in the grass. Hasn't hit anything yet. The caution is out. Let's see if he can get the truck refired. He's trying right now.
Oh, yeah.
And he does. He pulls away. He will stay on the lead lap. The field comes by and takes the caution. So, another close call for Sedgwick there. He worked so hard to get back on the lead lap. He didn't want to give it away that way. Let's take a look and see exactly what happened to Bill Sedgwick. You see the traffic there? And up at the top part of the screen, he was up on the outer portion of the racetrack. Couldn't tell if he got some help there or what, but the truck got away from him, spun around. As I said, nobody hit him. He hit nothing. So, just a harmless spin right now for Bill Sedgwick. He was pretty lucky. And there you see Sedgwick back underway. He's got the whole field to go through, but he caught him a while ago. We'll come back, see if he can do it again. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Today's excuse.
And once again, the field has doubled up for a restart. There's the top 10. Only difference this time, new leader Joe Ruttman rested the lead away from Ron Hornaday. He looked pretty strong, Barry.
He's been there, you know, and I'm sure he made a change too. He couldn't have been totally happy with his truck. So This is going to be a heck of a show, Glenn, all the way down.
Ruttman, as I said, was so strong last week. Ran a real strong, solid second place. Has been there all night tonight. Now that he's got the lead, I want to see how hard he runs and how he protects it.
Yeah.
One of the guys that's hardest to keep behind you. And as they take off, look at Hornaday pushing Joe Ruttman right down the front stretch and wasting no time, pulling right back beside him. He must have a little bit lower gear in that thing, because, man, on the takeoffs, he just absolutely kills the field.
I think Teresa let him borrow Dale's transmission.
I think she might have let him know right then she didn't like running second either. What a great battle. Look at Mike Skinner right behind him, waiting on one of those guys to make a mistake. Fans are absolutely eating this up. That's Joe Ruttman on the inside of the 84 Coca-Cola truck. Ron Hornaday, number 16, Papa John's Pizza. And right behind him, the black number 3 of Mike Skinner, the Goodwrench truck. What great racing by 3 great drivers. Side-by-side action here at the Evergreen State Fairgrounds. We knew this place was going to lend itself to this, Barry, and boy, what a show these guys are putting on.
Yeah, they'll start using a little more of the upper groove here.
Hornaday got just a little loose there, but man, what a bite he got. Ruttman has to back out as Hornaday beat him to the corner that time, and now Skinner pulls up on the outside, bluffs a move on Ruttman there. Whatever they did to Skinner's truck, looks like that was the right move too, Barry.
Yeah, and that was a little bit higher line, see. Tighter track up there with no rubber on it.
And that's exactly what Mike Skinner needs. And we've got the number 31 truck off the pace down the front stretch. That's Jack Sprague. He'll be going into the pits. Looks like he got in the wall. No problem there, though. But bad luck for Jack. He was in the top 5 in the points. And we've got a replay as to what happened to Sprague. We'll take a look at it here. That's in the truck of Toby Butler there. Look at the right of your screen there. You see the 31 truck. Ooh, he just got up into the wall, and it cut the right front tire. So great action from inside Toby Butler's ortho truck there. And you see Jack Sprague coming to a stop. This is costly for him because Sprague was number 6 in the points. This is going to put him further down the line as the crew goes to work on the truck. Meanwhile, back up front, there's Hornaday continuing to hold off Ruttman. Ruttman made a move on him a while ago. Let's see if Hornaday gives him that room again.
Butch has worked his way around Legacy, too. He's sitting back there watching all this.
Yep, Butch Miller always ready to make a move. Let's go down to pits for a report from Ralph.
Sammy Houston is the crew chief for Joe Ruttman. Boy, what did you do to that truck?
We've had a good truck all year long, and we've been good on long runs. We just got to put it together and try and get a victory. We're pretty good tonight, and just need to get back in front of 16.
Joe said you guys have made some changes between here and Portland that really helped out here. What did you do?
Well, that's something we really don't want to talk about right now. We're trying some things we talked with Ernie and Larry McReynolds about. We've been really looking for forward traction all year, and we're trying to improve on that.
Looks like it worked, Glenn.
It does, Ralph. And come on, Sammy, you can tell us. We won't tell anybody. Hornaday continues to hold Ruttman off, but I think Ruttman's just playing the waiting game right now. Barry waiting till that right moment like he chose a while ago to make that move.
Yeah.
And there is Butch Miller and Steve Portengate. Good race going on for 4th place right there. That's 4th and 5th. Butch is holding down 4th place right now. And again, let's give a call to Steve Portengate, truck number 83, the Coffee Critic truck. What a great job he's done tonight. He has been in 5th place most all night long, driving a good, cautious race, saving the truck to the second half. And now it looks like he's got something maybe for Butch Miller. That's a fast truck. During practice today, I had Portengate as one of the quickest trucks on the track.
Yeah, he looked good all through the corner.
See Miller able to put a little distance on it going down the backstretch, but Portengate really seems to make it up right in the middle of the corner there. Look at that, how he pulls right up on the rear bumper, or the rear tailgate, I guess. Got a little bit crossways that time coming off the corner, but good run for Steve Portengate. He is, as I said, the reigning Southwest Tour champion, making a good name for himself here in the SuperTruck Series. And Miller has moved up onto the tailgate of Sammy Swindell in the number 38 Channel Lock truck. Of course, Sammy is a lap down. He's running a lot better than he did in the first part of the race, so his crew made an adjustment too. His truck's a little loose. I don't think he can continue that pace for long. Look at the number 14 of John Kinder there, and back to the number 3 of Mike Skinner as Hornaday and Ruttman have once again started putting some distance on the 3rd place truck, which is driven by Mike Skinner.
Yeah, unless they made a big air pressure adjustment to drop them all, they did not make much of an improvement, doesn't look like them.
Be interesting to see if he's able to keep the leaders in sight. meanwhile trying to hold off Butch Miller, who's coming down on him. And look at this lady. She's a little concerned about things going on. Oh, okay, no wonder. That's Ron Hornaday's wife.
She shouldn't be worried the way that truck's running.
He only lost the lead for just a couple of laps. And that time Ruttman, you see, as he went and tried to move around Jerry Glanville to put a lap on Glanville, went way up out of the groove. Lost about 6 or 7 truck lengths to Hornaday. He was just a couple behind him. There you see Rick Corelli in number 6. Good battle with number 52, driven by Ron Esau tonight. Corelli moving back into the top 10. We wondered if Corelli's crew had made an adjustment. It looks like they must have. The truck running much better than it did at the end of the first segment last time. Of course, Corelli is one of our in-truck cameras. He always provides us with some great shots out of that thing, too. Seems like every time we go to him in truck, he creates some action for us. I wonder how he knows that. And there's Jack Sprague back out on the track in number 31. You can see a little damage to the right side where he got in the wall there. Right behind him is Butch Miller. Butch, of course, still running fourth, trying to draw a bead on number 3, Mike Skinner. Skinner's still about a half a straightaway ahead of Miller, running third. So there's Butch Miller. He's in 4th place. That's the Ray Bestis truck. Ford Credit, red carpet lease. He's got a lot of sponsors.
Yeah, he does. Maybe the Ray Bestis brakes are paying off because a lot of trucks are having brake trouble. And he looks awful good. Once he gets by this 99, I think he's going to mow down to 3.
He's definitely closing ground right now. Good run up off the corner. You see Sprague coming up behind him. Let's go to Ralph.
Glenn, Butch Miller has got his radio working this half of the race, so when he is ready to mount a charge towards the front, he should be in pretty good shape for that. Toby Butler, we talked about all the problems he had at the first half of this race. They were able to get everything done with the Panhard bar and the springs in that intermission in 7 minutes. Pretty good work by the crew there. Butler's truck is really coming around, as well as Rick Corelli's truck. Now, you might remember, was real tight. They were able to loosen that up a little bit, not as much as they needed, but it's not as bad as it was before. And Jerry Churchill, the 88 truck, is out due to motor problems.
Tough break for Churchill, and once again, you're looking out the front windshield of Rick Corelli. Things have stabilized a little bit here. We'll take a break. Be back with more exciting Super Truck by Craftsman Series action from Monroe, Washington. Now back up front, you see the red number 16 and the red and white number 84. Ron Hornaday in 16, Joe Ruttman in 84. Ruttman's starting to close the gap a little bit now, Barry.
Yeah, there's 5th. That's a good run right there now.
Steve Portengay in 83 and P.J. Jones in the Die Hard truck. I always think that thing looks like a tiger with all the stripes on it there. And he drives like a tiger, too. That's for 5th place. Again, look at P.J. pull up off the corner. Yeah. Getting a tremendous bite there. But Portengay's truck really working well through the corners. He gets in the corner a little bit, puts a little distance, and P.J. really gains ground on him coming off there. Just not quite enough yet. I got a feeling if Portengay gives him room that he's going to find it, that bottom lane, that he can take it right on by him there. Good look at P.J. Jones. 6th place, Steve Portengay in 5th. I got a feeling things might reverse themselves here pretty shortly. Back up front, Hornaday must have heard me talking about Ruttman closing the gap because he put the distance between them again as they're working traffic.
Okay, both of those trucks are tight in 1 and 2, but in turn 3 and 4, as you can see this, Ruttman's much freer getting in and much quicker through the bottom. That's where he's gaining. 1 and 2, they're both about equal.
Of course, Barry, it's about 8:20 here Pacific time. The sun has set now. Of course, we still got good light, good visibility here, but the racetrack surface cooling off, that lends it to tightening up.
Yeah, the 16's tight.
And you see P.J. Jones has made that move into 5th place. He's up on the outside of Jerry Glanville in the 81 truck right now. P.J. Jones moves into 5th, and right on his back bumper is 08. That's Mike Bliss in the Ultra Wheels Ford. Remember, he boiled the brakes earlier on. Now he seems to be having things working a little better for him. He's running in 6th place right behind P.J. Jones. So that has moved Portengay back to 7th. First time tonight that Steve has been out of the top 5. See the trucks come off of 4 there. P.J. takes it down into the first turn. And back up front, Ron Hornaday has just put a lap on Toby Butler, so the changes they made obviously did not work that well for Toby Butler. He has gone a lap down. A lot of traffic now that Hornaday's going to have to negotiate. He's opened up a pretty sizable lead over Ruttman right now, about the longest we've seen tonight. It'll be interesting to see if he can maintain it while he works through this traffic.
Yeah, he worked the second group of traffic better than Joe did, and that's what got Joe behind. But Joe is good in 3 and 4 now. If he can get a few laps open like that, he'll run him back down.
Saw a little dust as Ron Hornaday drove it just down to the edge of the racetrack, just barely got the left front tire off the pavement there. He really likes to work the wheel down low. He's getting a good bite down there. The truck really seems to get around the racetrack there. Really, anywhere he wants to go as he moves by a lap truck on the outside. That was Gary Collins. Now, remember we told you about Bill Sedgwick having problems. He has moved up to 11th, knocking on the tailgate of Ron Esau in the 52 truck there, the AC Delco truck. And once again, you see Hornaday. He just put a lap on both those trucks. So once again, Bill Sedgwick finds himself a lap down. Ron Hornaday running away, got things the way he wants it right now. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more action here in just a moment. Don't go away.
You just spray it on.
You just spray it on.
Quicksilver wheel cleaner from Armor All. Just spray it on, and then just spray it off.
That's it. That's it.
Quicksilver wheel.
Truck with Rick Corelli. SuperTruck Series by Craftsman. Corelli running in the top 10. There is a look at Ron Hornaday moving up to try to put a lap on Rick Corelli. You know, Barry, Hornaday has really used this traffic to his advantage.
That's how he's gotten away from Joe. He's done a much better job in the traffic.
A little further back in the field there, you see Mike Skinner still holding on to third place, but creeping up ever so slowly, ever so surely. You see the number 98 truck there behind Toby Butler. That's Butch Miller. Butch holding down fourth right now. He has just ever so gradually caught the number 3 truck with Skinner. He's only a few truck lengths behind now. I think you'll see him challenge for the third position.
Yeah, he just cleared at 21, and the 3 truck is going to catch a lot of traffic here. Let's see what happens.
That's the same traffic that Ron Hornaday used to absolutely bolt away from the field. There you see Skinner, and there is Butch Miller.
Coach Glanville calls that a moving pig.
Sometimes Coach Glanville is a moving pig on the racetrack.
Yeah, he is.
Nothing against you, Coach. We're just having a little fun. There you see the traffic that the trucks are moving up on. And you see Skinner. Once again, there's Butch Miller, the Ray Bestos, number 98. Now, Butch likes to work traffic. And in fact, he told me that, hey, man, when we get in traffic, I feel like I got an advantage. This is what I like to do. I've raced short tracks all my life. I know how to work traffic. Give me a chance at him in a little traffic. I think I can catch him. And he's doing that right now.
Yeah.
Skinner has cleared the traffic. Of course, he's no slouch. He's got a truck that's not working quite as well as what he would want it to. Definitely not as well as last week. But he's still doing a good job. Mike's had an ill-handled truck and has remained in third position most all night long.
Okay, here comes Butch.
Butch moving under the number 74 truck of Gary Collins right now as they head up the backstretch. Nobody between him and Mike Skinner right now, but Skinner is closing in on a little bit more traffic there. Ooh, truck gets sideways off the corner there. That's Sammy Swindell in front of Troy Beebe. Those are the trucks that Skinner and Butch Miller moving up on, and you see Beebe trying to move under Sammy Swindell. He can't make the move right there, and Mike Skinner has caught Beebe. Beebe will have to wait. Let Skinner and Miller clear him before he tries that move again on Swindell. Or at least that's what they hope he does.
Oh, yeah, Butch is on him. I talked to Mike earlier today, and he seemed a little bit uncomfortable with this track because he didn't know much about it. And he said, I'll be happy to get out of here with the top 5.
And he puts the nose. Oh, and it cost him right there. He got the job done, but it also allowed Butch Miller to move up under him. He absolutely could not get Beebe out of the way. And as they race side by side, great racing action here. Let's see how Skinner works in that upper groove. Miller has been using the lower part of the racetrack, and he does to his advantage. Pulls away from Skinner, takes the third position. Let's go down and check with Ralph in the pits.
Well, Gary Showalter's Butch Miller's crew chief. This has got to be awfully frustrating for you. If you could get Bush to qualify a little bit better, he's certainly one of the fastest trucks out there.
Well, we're working on it real hard. We'll hopefully get a yellow with about 10 to go, then we can give him a run.
You think the truck is good enough to give him a run?
Oh, yeah, I think it's pretty good. We just need to get to him.
Barry, what would you do with your driver? I mean, in a situation like this, he is extremely fast, and you got to believe you could run with him if he could qualify up front with him. Well,
they're beating and banging right now. They just swapped 2 side panels. it's just something you have to keep working on. This is new for these guys, like it is with the Western Cup team, and it takes time, and they'll find it. Butch is too good a driver, and that's too good a team.
And once again, Mike Skinner used that traffic to his advantage, Barry, and took the third position away. As you said, they swapped a little sheet metal, a little paint there. No sheet metal yet. We hope we don't see that. But Butch Miller right on the back deck, waiting for Mike Skinner to make one little slip, to take advantage, take that third position back. So even though Skinner's truck not handling the best he wants it, boy, he's got some fight left in him.
That's going to be a war. If those trucks were step sides right there, they could have switched rides.
And Sammy Swindell moves up and gives both Skinner and Miller room as they come down the front stretch. You see Skinner put a little distance there, but Miller moves right back up in the middle of the corner. That's where he's strong.
That's the battle right now. And they're going to catch some slow traffic here in about a half lap.
Yeah, the traffic is what tightened this battle up to begin with there. And the traffic that they're running up on is Ron Esau at number 52. And Steve Portgay at number 83. Portgay definitely falling off the pace now. Was running in the top 5. He's now going a lap down to these guys. Has been lapped long ago by leader Ron Hornaday. Good move there by Skinner. He ran up on that truck just a little quicker than he thought coming off of turn 2 there. But used it to his advantage. Put a couple truck lengths between he and Butch Miller.
Yeah, he put a pick on him. Butch had to get on the brakes.
I guess that's why they call them pickups.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mike. I didn't mean to say that. That was for Mike Joey's benefit. There's your top 5. Ron Hornaday has led all but 2 or 3 laps. Joe Ruttman running second. Hornaday's got about a half a lap lead. Mike Skinner third, Butch Miller fourth, and Miller tries it again.
That is the race now. They are going in.
Ooh, Skinner gets high. Look at that. He went way high up in the corner.
Here's your pass.
Yep, that was up in turn 3. Mike got in the corner just a little bit hot there. Couldn't get the truck to turn. Butch Miller wasted no time in diving right under it. You see right now there are only 7 trucks left on the lead lap. Ron Hornaday is running away from the field. We're watching this battle here, and Butch Miller starting to pull away from Skinner. I wonder if Skinner had a problem there.
He went in too hard, it looked like, in 3 to me, Glenn.
And it looks like now that Miller has taken that position for good as he starts to put some distance between he and the black number 3 Goodrich truck of Mike Skinner. See him heading up the backstretch there. Moving down into turn 3. The distance seems to have stabilized a little bit there, but Skinner's really going to have to put something on to take that position back from Miller now. He's got a good 10-12 truck length lead on him. And you see the sign there, only 10 laps to go. We understand there might be a problem with Mike Skinner's truck. Ralph?
Well, this is Rich Burgess. Is there a problem with Mike's truck, Rich?
I couldn't hear you there.
Is there a problem with Mike's truck?
He called in. He thought there was something wrong with the right front, like it possibly might have punctured a tire. But he seems to be going okay now. So we just have to hope he can hang on to that 4th place right now.
In a situation like this, Barry, where you see Skinner moving around the number 52 truck of Ron Esau, when you've got an ill-handling truck like that, all you want to do now, you're seeing it 10 to 9, 8 laps to go. You just want that thing to get over with.
Yeah, you want to hit every crack in the pavement the same. You want to know where the guy is behind you, not in front of you.
And the good thing for Skinner is, although he has fallen back to 4th, the 5th place truck is way, way behind him. That's P.J. Jones, or excuse me, now it's Mike Bliss in 5th, and he is almost a full straightaway behind. So if he could just ride it out here, he's got a good 4th place finish.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, that's been a good run for Mike Bliss in the Ultra Wheels truck. That team's getting stronger and stronger every week, it looks like.
If he does hang on to the 5th place, 5th position, this will be his 3rd consecutive top 5 finish for Mike Bliss. That's saying a lot for this guy who normally has driven open wheel cars. Not that much of a veteran in these full body cars, but man, he has taken to SuperTruck racing.
He's got a good owner. Jimmy Smith's a good guy. I've known him for years. They brought Cliff Champion out from the East Coast, and he can get things organized and get them on the right foot.
There you see Mike Bliss in the purple and white truck number 08, followed closely by P.J. Jones. You saw his best finish so far was a 2nd at Tucson. Right now he is running 6th. Mike. And here's Ron Hornaday using more traffic. You see Steve Portgay down there bouncing around on the bottom of the track. He just lapped the 7th place truck. So now there are 6 trucks on the lead lap. Steve Portgay in the 83 truck obviously having a problem. Ron Hornaday having no problems whatsoever. Let's take a look at the interval between Hornaday and Ruttman. Waiting, and there it is.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it is, but folks, it's a long way.
Well, the sad part for Ruttman is the 16's got to get by Jack Sprague. He's got a lot of open racetrack, and right now Ruttman's caught 3 trucks there, some slow traffic.
And he's doing a good job of working the traffic. You know, for 2 weeks in a row now, there have only been 1 truck quicker than Joe Ruttman. Last week it was Mike Skinner. This week Ron Hornaday. Right. And like we said, his day has got to come. He's running far too good not to win one of these Super Truck Series races.
He's going to get his share. He's such a great guy, and he's such a great race driver.
You know, he's been at it a long, long time, too, as you see him move around Sammy Swindell there. But the thing that impresses me about him, Barry, is that he still has as strong a will, as strong a desire to win as what he ever did.
That's why he's here. I mean, if you're in the business, it's always there.
Another good, solid job turned in tonight by Joe Ruttman in the Coca-Cola truck. And we're looking for Butch Miller here, who is now in 3rd. See Scott Lagacy coming by. There's Rick Corelli, Bill Sedgwick, and there's Butch Miller, and there is Mike Skinner, the number 3 truck. Of course, Miller running 3rd, Skinner running 4th in the number 3. 2 laps to go now. Things are winding down here. Ron Hornaday looking for his 3rd win of the year. He gets the white flag this time by for Ron Hornaday in his Papa John's Pizza, Dale and Teresa Earnhardt NASCAR Chevy Super Truck. You see him moving up on Coach Jerry Glanville. Going to put Jerry 1 more lap behind. He said, hey, Jerry, come on, I'll make this race just a little shorter for you here. Let me on by here.
Yeah, and the truck he's catching there is pouring some smoke out.
Yep, see a little smoker there. But Hornaday comes off the corner. Down the front straightaway he comes. Smooth sailing in the checkered flag for Ron Hornaday, 3rd time this year. Led almost from start to finish. Gave up the lead just a couple of laps for Joe Ruttman. There you see his wife giving a celebratory hug to one of the crew members there. Great job by Ron Hornaday. We'll be back to talk to the winner. When we come back, we'll give you the full field rundown. Stay tuned. Day has just picked up his 3rd Super Truck Series victory of the year. Let's go down with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, everybody's coming down here to congratulate Ron. He's getting a hug from his wife. His mom's down here, too. Good Mother's Day for them. Boy, this truck is just dominant out here today. What was it about this truck that made such a difference here?
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I got to say happy Mother's Day to everybody, especially Teresa sitting at home watching this. My mom, my wife, everybody out there, and hope they have a wonderful day tomorrow. I'll tell you what, this Papa John's Pizza, I don't care if they call it a taxi cab or whatever, but this thing ran today. You know, we were off last week going down to there, and we just came back here, and we knew we just had to calm down. We checked every nut and bolt up on this deal. And I tell you, this guy right here is a crew chief and a half. Because I'll tell you, these guys just keep on running and just pushing me hard and smooth me out. I got messed up there, and Joe Ruttman got underneath me, and I said, I got to get him back because I ain't going to get him later on when the tires get worn out. So, I don't know. This one's for Dale. I gotta thank RCCA. They're number 1 in die-cast, just like my crew's number 1 in them. But Goodyear tires held up again. I'll tell you, it's great.
Let's talk a little bit about the starts and the restarts. Your truck really gets off the line good. Is there something in the transmission that you got that is different?
Well, I don't know. You can ask Doug that. I've been bugging him for 5 races now for the 5th race.
Go ahead.
I finally got my Jericho in there I wanted. We got the gears we needed. And I tell you, they got to hold on to that next time. They dumped it on my head. But, you know, that's what it was. And we got that Jericho in here. We got it set up for the road course up there. And I told Doug it'd work perfect here. And it did. So we're going to go home and do some more homework on the gears for the next race.
And the inverted start, did you like that?
Well, at first I didn't, but I'll tell you, when I took the lead in the first lap, I loved it. But it's hard to pace yourself. You don't know how hard everybody's pushing themselves behind you. So, you know, Doug kept reading off times, and I kept being smooth and all that stuff. So, you know, it worked out great. We know when we tested, we were running 25 flats, and that's where we pushed it all day long, 25 flats, 25 tens. So we had a great truck, and I got to thank Papa John's Pizza, Snap-on, Craftsman for having the series. And I'll tell you, RCCA is just number 1.
Glenn, Ron Hornaday is the winner of the NASCAR Super Truck race by Craftsman here at Evergreen Speedway.
Absolutely dominated the field. Let's take a look at the top 10 finishers here tonight. Of course, Ron Hornaday, Joe Ruttman 2nd. Good job. Butch Miller from 11th, finished 3rd. Mike Skinner held on for 4th. Good run again from Mike Bliss in 5th position. P.J. Jones, good solid run in 6th. Dave Resendez 7th, in number 7. And a good showing by Steve Portengay, running 8th. Finishing 9th was Bill Sedgwick, and 10th, truck number 6, Rick Corelli. Let's go back down now. Ralph is with Joe Ruttman.
Second place in the Coca-Cola Florida, Joe Ruttman. And, you know, this truck has been right there the last couple of weeks, but just not close enough. What's the story there?
I don't know. It's like kind of like kissing your sister. You know, it's nice, but it's not the way to go. But I think we can, we're making tremendous strides, and I feel the guys have been working real hard, and we're going to get the truck back home. And I think we're just lacking just a little niche, and if we can pick that up, I think we're going to be in good shape.
You had told me before the race that you had picked up a couple of tenths, and Sammy Houston has told us that you guys have dialed in a little bit better on your suspension. Is it the suspension area that's the key for you, or do you need a little bit more motor now to match up with that?
No, it's not the engine. I'd like to complain about the engine, but that's not the problem. We just got to get it hooked up. Ralph, may I take this time to wish my mother, I call her Granny. Hi, Granny. You know, many, many more Mother's Days, and you got me here, and thank you very much. And my wife and everybody else, very happy Mother's Day. I don't want to forget that.
Well, you know, Glenn Jarrett's been watching upstairs, and he's got a question, too, for you. Go ahead, Glenn. What's your question?
Ralph, I'd like to know that early in the second half there, when Joe was able to take the lead, if his truck was a little stronger at that time, or if Hornaday just didn't get going.
Glenn was observing, when you took the lead early on, was your truck just stronger than Hornaday's, or did he just get a better jump, or not as good a jump, or what was the story there?
Well, I think initially, you know, we thought at the end of the first segment, we felt we really had a better truck. And when the 275 and the 16 got wrestling, you know, you say, well, I don't want to get up in there, and 3 makes a lot bigger crash than 2. So on the restart, when I got by him, I thought that he wouldn't wrestle real hard, and I knew if we run too hard early that we'd run off of tires, and that's, as you could see, he had the same problem we did. He was pushing real bad, and so were we. So that's a sign of maybe overrunning the tires a little earlier than we needed to. So maybe had he run off the tires 5 laps quicker, Glenn, maybe we could have done something with him.
There you go, Glenn.
Okay, thanks, Ralph. Barry, for the second week in a row, as I said, Joe Ruttman the bridesmaid, but he's got to get one sooner or later.
He's going to get his share. You know, we were in Sears Point last week and was able to catch the race, and he was there. And you can't continue to run that strong and keep being denied.
No, absolutely not. Here's another guy been running awfully strong for the last few weeks. Ralph Shaheen is with Butch Miller.
Butch and Donna Miller down here with us. You know, this truck has been so good the last couple of weeks. This qualifying thing, is it starting to get under your skin a little bit? Because it's got to be making a difference.
Yes, it really is, because we got to fight from the back every week, you know, but it's only one person's fault, and that's mine. You know, so I just got to go to qualifying school, and if there's a qualifying school out there somewhere, I need help.
Can you explain it a little bit for the folks at home? Because none of us are going to get a chance to qualify that often for a super truck race. What is going through your mind when you go to do it?
Well, tonight, and most of the time I've been overdriving a truck, but I was very conscious of that tonight. And I didn't overdrive it, but I did draw number 1 qualifier. And I don't believe that when I got out there I had the proper track to qualify quick on. But, you know, we had a good truck. It was, in the first half, it was probably the fastest truck out there. And halftime, Butch out-engineered himself and sent us to the back. Well, third anyhow. I took the fastest truck and made it a third-place truck.
Then when you're coming through the field, you really seem to be picking the guys off pretty easily, almost at will. The truck set up exactly the way you need it now?
It was the first half. I should have left it alone.
Let's talk about I-70. That's a track where you've had great success in your ASA days as well. Does that give you an upper hand since a lot of these guys have never seen it before?
Did I mention Ray Bestis and Ford Credit and Red Carpet Lease? I need to. They're great people. What was the question?
I-70. You're going there and you've had good success there. Is that going to give you an advantage maybe with your qualifying now, help you?
Well, it should. It's a fairly a normal racetrack, so that there's no trick ins and outs that you have to know to qualify there. So it's going to help. We're going to start up farther, or I'm going to get fired.
That I-70 race, Glenn, will be seen live on TNN.
The post-race activities continue here at the Evergreen Speedway in Monroe, Washington. There you see Ron Hornaday got a victory wreath around him. And I'm told that he's got a telephone call from his truck owner, Dale Earnhardt. You see one of his crew guys there. That's Doug Richard. Yeah, that's Doug Richard, the crew chief, talking to him, and Doug's telling him what Dale said. So Earnhardt wasting no time in congratulating his driver, Ron Hornaday, on a great job, and what a job it was. Absolutely covered the field. So now he's telling the crowd what Earnhardt's telling him. That's a nice touch. Okay, let's go back to the pits with Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Ron Esau, you did a great job filling in for Kenny Schrader tonight. I believe a 9th place finish for you. Pretty good debut in a Super Truck. How tough was it for you to get acclimated to Schrader's truck?
Well, Kenny's got the truck really working good. It was more of me getting acclimated to it. I wasn't used to the radial tires. The last time I ran radial tires was at Richmond, Virginia in 1990. And I've been spoiled running these little tour cars with the bi-splice. And I want to thank AC Delco and Kenny Schrader and Timmy and everybody for giving me the opportunity to run. It was fun.
Well, now you've been doing a lot of tutoring for Walker Evans. Are we going to see you back here driving one of these instead of tutoring?
I hope so. We've got a guy named Ray Miller in San Jose that's trying to put a truck team together, and so I took on the job of helping Walker Evans just to learn about what's going on, and I just happened to be here helping Walker, and Timmy and I ran with Kenny down in Australia and finished 3rd behind Kenny and Terry Labonte down in Australia, and Timmy knew I would take care of the equipment, and we did a good job of that.
I guess it helps to be able to fit into Roger's suit too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Ron Esau finishing up here in one of Kenny Schrader's own driving suits, borrowed from one of the crew members, and it looks like maybe, Glenn, is a future Super Truck racing for Ron Esau.
Well, Ron Esau certainly is a talented and capable driver. I've talked to him a couple of times myself, Ralph, and he definitely wants to run in this series. Here we go with a full field rundown. Once again, there is the top 10. Ron Hornaday, the definitive winner here tonight. Joe Ruttman, another great run, 2nd place. See on down through the top 10 there. Here is 11 through 20. Bob Strait, Steve Portengay, John Kinder, Scott Lagacy, Bill Sedgwick, Troy Beebe, Jerry Glanville in 17th, Sammy Swindell in 18th, Toby Butler, hometown favorite, had a bad night, finishes 19th, and Kerry Teague rounds out the top 20. 21st, the Dodge of Bob Keselowski. 22nd, Gary Heron, former crew chief on this truck, now driving it. 23rd was Jack Sprague. That'll hurt him into points. Dennis Woolridge finishes 24th, filling in for Stan Fox. You saw the rest of the guys. There is Ron Hornaday's wife, congratulating the crew chief after Ron's victory. Another good show here tonight. Barry, thanks for being with me.
I enjoyed it, Glenn. I'd like to say be home tomorrow, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. I got another mother back home. It's an important day to her, and we'll see you then.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. I'm Glenn Jarrett for Barry Dodson, Ralph Shaheen. Thanks for joining us.